Today, we're looking at banking and how your bank can help with business performance. I'm joined by Luke Veal from Metro Bank. As a business development director, Luke works on the front line managing many of Metro's business customers. Welcome, Luke. So let's start. Beyond lending, what are the key services a business should expect from its bank?
I think one of the key services for you to look for is the access to relationship managers and the access to decision makers within a bank. I think where things have changed with banking over the years, a lot of these services are being moved to computers and to move to call centres. The key thing for me when looking for a bank and looking for a banking partner is having access to people that you can deal with, having access to people that understand your business and can help you in times of need.
Okay, that's interesting. And I guess there are different businesses of different sizes watching this video now. How are banking requirements affected by the stages of business growth?
I think that different businesses will require different things from their bank. Newer businesses may have relatively simple needs. It may just be a case if they need a bank account for them to deposit their monies in and for them to transact with. Smaller businesses may be looking to scale quickly, may need access to finance. They may need access to a relationship manager who will support them. Now, a lot of relationship managers who've been in banking and been in these services for a long time will have networks outside of the walls of their bank. So it may be that the bank can then recommend them or put them in touch with, an accountant, can put them in touch with, someone in marketing, such as yourself. They may be in a position to put them in touch with legal advice they may need. So, I think there's a lot of different avenues that a bank can open up to you, and a bank can be used as a source of support and advice outside of just day-to-day banking.
So you work very much within a business community.
Absolutely, that's part of my job is to make sure that I'm well connected within the local community and with the local advisors as well, to make sure that we can all work together in supporting our clients.
Sure. And for an MD or a CEO who's planning a next big initiative, should they be telling you about what they're thinking, and how can you help with that?
Absolutely, that's something that I particularly enjoy about my job. Is talking to my clients about their next plans. How they're looking to achieve those plans and what it is they're looking to do. And I consider the services that I provide being able to help them to perhaps using my experiences of dealing with other customers that maybe have done a similar sort of thing. Just giving them ideas of things that perhaps to think about, potential pitfalls, things that, they may want to consider when they're putting together their plans and just acting as that sounding board, I think can be a really valuable element to helping them, to support them in their growth.
And I suppose it's an obvious question, or maybe not an obvious question. How often would you normally talk to a client? How regularly?
I think, it's very different for individual clients. I personally quite like to check in with clients once a quarter, just to sort of see how things are getting on, and see if there's anything that we can potentially do to support them. Now that's going to be different for each individual client. If you've got a potential transaction that's going on, maybe they're in a fast period of growth, or they're carrying out an acquisition, or there's a sort of a debt transaction that's on the table, that will obviously be much more often that we'll be talking and managing that process through. There may be other customers that to be honest are quite happy how they are, and perhaps just an annual review. It very much differs on the client, and I think the banks need to be making sure that they're available to what the clients require, and they're akin to what they need.
Okay, no, thank you. And I guess we're looking at time. One more question then. It's a very busy space, the banking sector. How is it important to have the right kind of bank, or is it just a bank account?
It is very much dependent on the individual and the business and what it is they're looking to achieve. As I say, there are certain clients that a bank is a very transactional relationship, and that's absolutely fine. And they will potentially just need it as a spot to transact with and to put their money and to sort of pay their bills from. Absolutely fine. There are other clients that perhaps if you've got businesses that are looking to scale quickly, or potentially are on an acquisition trail, or anything along those lines. The support that you can get from a bank, I think, can be really useful and can be really valuable. And what I kind of talk to my clients about is, don't just think of us as your banking services, your bank accounts, your loans, your things along those lines. You've got to be able to work with that bank. You've got to have a relationship with that relationship manager. And they should be looking at other ways that they can support you. So, whether that be external introductions to their network, potential new opportunities, potential new clients. I look after a wide range of different customers through all different businesses, and there may be new opportunities for me to introduce them to suppliers, new customers, anything along those lines. I think I don't like it to be pigeonholed. I think there's lots of different opportunities that you can work with your bank. Absolutely.
Good. Okay. Well, that sounds like good advice. Well, thank you, Luke. So, yeah, I'd like to thank Luke Veal for talking to me today, and I'd like to thank all of you watching this. For more tips on business growth and revenue generation, have a look at my YouTube channel or look at my webpage, revenueworks.co.uk. In the meantime, let's keep on growing.
Pleasure. Thanks, Alistair. All the best.